You know what's funny? Someone once told me Indian entrepreneurs are the most creative people in the world. And I was like, yes, absolutely. And then I looked at the startup ecosystem in India. And it's basically Silicon Valley, but with more chai and fewer hoodies. Ola is Uber, Flipkart was Amazon, Meesho is kind of Pinterest meets Wish, and Zomato literally had DoorDash on its vision board. And look, I'm not hating, I'm just saying there's a pattern here. And today, we are going to talk about that exact pattern and why it occurs in the Indian market. So let's start at the very beginning. The early 2010s, India is just waking up to the internet, smartphones are getting cheap, data is getting expensive, but people are figuring it out. And what happens? A bunch of smart Indians look at America, see what's working there, and go, okay, but what if we did it here? And honestly, that wasn't stupid, that was smart. America has already tried these models. You're not guessing whether a food delivery app works as a concept. DoorDash already proved it. You're just betting on whether it works here with our infrastructure, our consumers, our chaos. That's a different, arguably smaller bet. But here's where it gets interesting. The ones who succeeded weren't just straight up copiers. They were adapters. Zomato didn't just copy Yelp. They built for a country where restaurant discovery and delivery are completely different problems. Nykaa didn't just copy Sephora. They understood the Indian women are buying beauty products in a market where there's a massive trust deficit in online retail. And this is actually where it gets really interesting, because the same problem exists in business education as well. Now, most MBA programs are still teaching you to copy. Here's a framework, here's a case study from 2003, now apply it. But the market has already moved on. The Indian startups that actually won didn't copy frameworks. They got into the market, observed real customers, and built for India-specific chaos. And this is the exact problem Scalar School of Business is trying to solve. It's a full-time 18-month PG program in management and AI designed and taught by leaders who have built and scaled companies like Uber and Myntra. And the thing that stood out to me the most is that as a part of the curriculum, students are building their own businesses, generating 20 lakh plus revenue in few weeks. And these students pitched their startup to Anupam Mittal on campus, and he was actually interested in investing 50 lakh rupees in a startup. Their students study Indian startups by working on real problem statements. Students worked on a GTM strategy to expand Practo in India and pitched it directly to the CMO. They worked on Mokobara's expansion and pitched it directly to the founder on campus. These are Indian companies solving real problems for Indian audiences, and SLB students are in the room where those decisions are being made. It's basically the antithesis of the copy an American model mindset. It's training you to think in first principles, not borrow someone else's. So they didn't just copy, they adapted, which is exactly what the best Indian startups do. In their founding batch, students achieved an average salary hike of 3.2x and landed leadership roles at companies like Urban Company, Blinkit, even healthcare and more. So if you want to become a brilliant business leader, apply to SSB's next batch starting September 18th with scholarships up to 50%. And the link will be in the description. Okay, so why does this keep happening? Why are we seemingly always 5 to 7 years behind America in startup ideas? Look, there are 3 reasons to it. 1. Capital follows proof. VC, especially early Indian VC cultures, were risk averse, and a working model in America was the easiest proof point. So founders who pitched something that already existed in the US had a structural fundraising advantage. It wasn't laziness, it was game theory. 2. The talent concentration. For years, the best business minds were either going into banking, consultation, or moving to the US. The people who stayed and built startups often came from engineering backgrounds. They were excellent at execution, but may not have the deep exposure to original consumer insight. And the MBA culture in India? Heavy on frameworks, light on actual first principles thinking. 3. The market was genuinely greenfield. Even a copied idea in India was solving a real problem for the first time at scale. So you didn't need to invent something new, you needed to execute something known really well in an incredible complex market. And that's genuinely hard. But here's the thing, that era, it's over, or at least it's ending. The playbook of find a working US model and apply it to India is getting crowded. Every space that could be disrupted with a broader model has been disrupted. E-commerce, food delivery, payments, edtech, fintech, logistics, all done. The next wave of Indian startups will need to build from original insight, build for problems that are ours, build for people who actually understand how India works, not just how America works, and how to translate it. And honestly, that's the talent problem as much as an idea problem. Think about it. The founders who are going to build the next generation of Indian companies, where are they being trained? If they're going to traditional MBA programs, they're getting Harvard case studies about American companies with American consumers making American decisions. That's not useless, but it's not sufficient. If Indian startups are going to start building original ideas, it probably starts with building a generation of founders and operators who are trained in original problem solving, not textbook translation. Now, I want to be fair here. It's not like India has only produced copies. Some genuinely original ideas came out of this ecosystem, like the UPI, genuinely world class. America is still trying to find out real-time payments, and we have had it for years. The whole Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, mobile stack, the India stack, that's an original infrastructure that no other country had the audacity to build. CRED is a weird one. There's no clean American equivalent. Kunal Shah built it around a behavioral insight that's pretty specific to India. The psychology of credit card users at a distinct aspirational consumer class, which was the original insight. Dunzo, before it pivoted, was solving a hyper-local delivery problem that America doesn't really have, because American cities aren't built the same way. And now with AI, honestly, this is the most exciting moment, because AI is leveling the playing field. The ideas that will win in the AI era aren't going to come from copy, they're going to come from understanding your user deeply. And India has 1.4 billion users with genuinely unique problems: healthcare access, vernacular language tech, and agricultural supply chains. These are massive unsolved original problems, and the founders who crack these, they won't be copying anyone. There's no American version to copy from. So look, copying wasn't a bug in the Indian startup story. It was a feature for a specific era. It de-risked capital, it built infrastructure, it created a generation of operators who know how to execute. Zomato executing better than DoorDash in a much harder market is genuinely impressive. But that era is wrapping up. The next chapter requires more original thinking, deep market insight, and founders who were actually trained to build, not just study building. Because we are at that inflection point, and I'm genuinely excited to see what comes out on the other side. And if this got you thinking, drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're someone who's trying to figure out how to break into the startup world, do check out Scalar School of Business. Link is in the description, because they're building something that feels genuinely different and honestly pretty aligned with where the whole conversation is going. So see you in the next one.